Hello again, and welcome to Barcelona Guide, a podcast dedicated to this wonderful city. A podcast where you can learn a lot of interesting things and get ideas to discover Barcelona. I am José Gómez, the founder of Looking Barcelona, a company where I provide tours to visit this city. Today, I'm going to start a series of audios dedicated to those who want to visit the city and they are accompanied with children. My idea is to make some broadcasts giving you ideas, suggestions of places where you can go with your little ones so that both you and them have a fantastic time. Traveling with children can be a lot of fun or also a nightmare if not taking into account some details. Details such as the time we want to dedicate to visiting monuments. Keep in mind to respect the rest hours, especially if children take a nap. Also, we have to bear in mind that it is very important for children to spend time playing in gardens, parks, swimming pools with other children. So during our travel, we have to respect those moments. Locate some parks, gardens, and let them play. If we travel with kids and we want everything to go well, we have to think about some important things. The first one is bringing a backpack with food and drink, sun hats, tissues, and a small toy that can calm them down in difficult moments. Children need to eat and drink more regularly than adults. I think that traveling with very young babies can also be difficult, both for them and for us. Why? Because it is really complicated carrying the baby cart, diapers, baby bottles, food, and for them it is also very heavy. Normally, they prefer to stay at home playing with his fingers. And also, we have to realize that very often things that for adults, for us, so we find great pleasure, turn out to be a real torture for children. Things like sitting down for a long time in restaurants or taking long walks. The fact of walking for many children is simple and necessary for act to move. In their wonderful brain, there is still no idea that adults can find pleasure in walks. So suddenly, if they are involved in a walk, so they can start to complain. They can start to say that their food hurts or that they have hungry and so on. There are the typical excuses they usually use. I said before that traveling with children can be a lot of fun, and that's true. The little ones are surprised by everything new if they listen surprising stories about places we visit, with new dishes we try. So seeing those faces of surprise and excitement, I love that when they discover new things is wonderful. That's wonderful for me. And I also love hearing their interpretations of the world and how they see the world. And for me, it is very, very funny. I think that, like all, traveling with children, it requires an adaptation. We have to learn step by step. And in a certain way, it is like a negotiation. You have to talk to them and explain them that during our trip, we have to do things that we all like, them and us. Yes, I said earlier, talking to them. It doesn't mean that they understand or approve of it, but at least we have to tell them and we have to try. In my opinion, another important point is that sometimes parents, we forget ourselves I think it is very important to keep us in mind as well. I mean, during the trip, do something that we really want. I mean, visit some place that the couple wants to visit. So that's important. Treat ourselves. I can assure you, I can tell you that it is very healthy to also think about ourselves. In all these years that I have been working as a guide in Barcelona, I have shown the city to many families with children, and I have also worked with travel agencies specialized in families. And also, and I think that's the most important point, I have two children. Theo, he's 8 years of age, and Daniel, he's 6 years of age. So, one of the things you learn when you travel with children is that it's very important to plan everything very well. I mean, what we are going to do, where we are going to sleep, what we are going to visit, and also try to find places that we might like both. I know it's difficult, but those places exist, and I'm going to tell you where these places are in these chapters. So let's get started. Today we are talking about a huge park, one of the largest in Barcelona, and the name is Diagonal Mar Park, a place that I go often with my kids and where they enjoy a lot, and me and my wife too. So you can get there by metro. The closest stop is Selva de Mar. I'm going to leave you in the notes of the program all these places right in that way. I think it's easier for you. So this is the yellow line. The subway station is located just about 8 minutes walk from the park. The name of the park, Diagonal Mar, comes from its proximity to the Avenida Diagonal, one of the most important avenues in the city. And its name suggests cross the city in diagonal. And the park is also located next to the sea. It is one of the largest parks in the city, yes, with 30 acres. It was inaugurated in 22 on the grounds of an old factory named La Macosa. It was a very important factory in the city, since it employed thousands of locals. Macosa made trains. In fact, the neighborhood where the park is located is called Pueblo Nuevo, that means new village. And all this area was full of factories. All these factories began to be demolished about 30 years ago, being replaced by apartments, buildings, offices, universities, and green areas. In fact, if you like architecture, you will love this area. There are buildings by the famous architects, such as the French Jean Nouvel and many others. Next to the park, you will see that there are some huge brick chimneys that were part of Macosa, this ancient factory. They were left as a tribute to that industrial past that was so important for the economic development of the city. This industrial process began in the middle of 19th century and placed Barcelona among the most important cities in Europe. Diagonal Mar is a park with a very modern design. Let me explain to you. There are many benches where metal is combined with ceramic. Ceramic represents tradition and metal represents the new materials. In our walk through the park, we see some metal tubes that raise. They are very original and form a very funny sculptural ground. These tubes hold huge flower pots. They are decorated with trencadís. Trencadís, it is a technique of making mosaics. Gaudí, the famous architect, this one that designed La Sagrada Familia, use it in a lot in his works. It consists of breaking the ceramic into small pieces to later adapt those pieces to all types of surfaces. Thus, we find curved surfaces adorned with ceramic. It is a small tribute that the architects who designed the park, Mr. Enrique Miralles and Mrs. Benedetta Tagliabue, paid to Gaudí. In our walk through, we find many paths that cross each other's, leading us to always surprising places. We see nature everywhere, many types of trees, such as the drago, a Canary Island tree. Also, we find flowers, aromatic herbs, and 2 wooden bridges cross a huge artificial lake where you can see different types of ducks and water birds that stop in his wetland and rest during their pilgrimages. Their pilgrimages, that's a difficult word, to Africa. On the lake, often we see people who play with their beautiful remote control boats. And there are also some small grassy hills on which there are 4 large and wide metal slides. My children love them. I recommend that you go. Normally, there are many children. Sometimes they use cardboard or cloth to slide better. It really is a lot of fun. I confess that sometimes me and my wife both thrown each other down the slides. Parents can sit down on some benches to laugh when we see our little ones enjoying the attraction. So, when you have visited the park, if you want something more, there is a large shopping center. It is called Diagonal Mar. It has several floors. In addition to shops, you will find cinemas and restaurants. And look at that, there is an entrance that looks to the sea. There is a semicircle square, and this is an obligatory stop also for children. Why? Because they love it, because you will see a structure with several levels where children enter and exit. It is like a maze. Around the square, there are all kind of restaurants, so pizza, hamburgers, ice cream. And if you still have energy, you can walk along the beach, which is 10 minutes walk away. But another day, we will dedicate another chapter to the beach, which is another fantastic place to go with kids. And well, this is all for today. If you like it, don't forget to do a like, so this audio can reach more people. You can write to me telling me about your experience traveling with children or about your favorite places to go with children in Barcelona. So, ladies and gentlemen, see you soon and don't forget to be happy. Adios!